do we approach the study of Muad'Dib's father? A man of surpassing warmth and surprising coldness was the Duke Leto Atreides. Yet many facts open the way to this Duke. His abiding love for his Bene Gesserit lady, the dreams he held for his son, the devotion with which men served him. You see him there, a man snared by destiny, a lonely figure with his light dimmed behind the glory of his son. Still, one must ask, what is the son but an extension of the father? Frank Herbert's critically acclaimed novel Dune will once again be brought to the big screen this winter in Denis Villeneuve's new adaptation. And with it comes another chance to see Herbert's iconic literary characters brought to life. Each character adds a crucial element in the outworking of this epic story. This time, I'll be delving once again into the Duneverse and taking a look at the man snared by destiny, the Honorable Duke Leto Atreides. The Atreides Homeworld is Caladan, a lush, oceanic planet where this noble house has ruled for over 20 generations. It's a beautiful, well-governed, and prosperous place featuring a large agricultural industry. Duke Leto has ruled Caladan for 20 years. He is a kind and thoughtful man who loves his concubine Lady Jessica and his son Paul dearly. He can be cold and stern at times, but his concern for them and for those who serve him is undeniable. Throughout his reign, he has grown in power and influence among the other great houses. He's an intelligent and formidable ruler who definitely has a way with people. His rule is marked by compassion and prosperity, but also in its strength. He has won the undying loyalty of some of the best warriors and strategists in the universe, who serve as his advisors and who have turned the Atreides army into an elite force that could give the Emperor's own soldiers a run for their money. There is a clear contrast between Duke Leto Atreides and the main antagonist of Dune, the long embittered enemy of the Atreides, the Baron Vladimir of House Harkonnen. The Harkonnen homeworld is an industrial planet, consisting almost entirely of refineries. They treat the planet like they do its people, suppressing and exploiting whatever they can out of them to gain more riches and power to advance their own interests. The Atreides-Harkonnen feud actually goes back centuries, to the time when an Atreides had a Harkonnen banished for cowardice at the Battle of Corrin. 10,000 years later, this event is still a sore subject and is bitterly remembered by the Baron. Some people just can't let things go. The Baron's hatred for the Duke is equal only to his ambition and lust for power. The Baron is cunning, always scheming for a way to better his situation politically, with the ultimate goal of ruling the Empire himself. But the Baron is not the only eye set against House Atreides. The Duke is growing in popularity and power among the great houses for the reasons I stated previously. This makes the current Emperor, Shaddam IV of House Carino, very nervous about his position. The Baron is quick to take advantage of this, and seizes the opportunity to team up with the Emperor to sabotage House Atreides. The story of Dune begins after the Emperor has given Leto an offer he can't refuse: control over the most valuable planet in the universe, Arrakis, Dune. The whole economy is based on the precious resource that is only found on this planet, spice. Whoever is granted the stewardship over harvesting the spice has the chance at enormous power and wealth. That is, if they can survive the dangers of this desert world. Arrakis is as deadly as it is precious. The fact that Leto accepts the offer to leave his beautiful paradise of a homeworld in exchange for the desert world Arrakis really demonstrates just how valuable this planet is. Just thinking about that prospect astounds me. House Atreides has been established on this water world for generations, and now they are uprooting themselves to set up a permanent base on a world that is entirely desert. No oceans, no rain, where every drop of moisture is precious. The world of Arrakis presents many dangers itself, including deadly sandstorms and monstrous sandworms. Additionally, events are set in motion for Leto's failure on Arrakis. The Emperor wishes for Leto to fail in his assignment, leading to a shortage of spice production. This would result in Leto's influence and reputation in the universe being greatly diminished. Meanwhile, the Baron's plan is to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. He wishes to end the Atreides bloodline and re-establish his house on Arrakis. Plans within plans within plans. At the very beginning of the story of Dune, it is clear that things aren't looking good for Leto. However, knowing there is a trap is the first step in evading it. Leto is a smart man and quickly puts together what's really going on behind the Emperor's gesture. He sees the trap laid before them, but the opportunity to rule Arrakis is just too good to pass up. However, before their family has even arrived on Dune, he has enacted a plan to prepare for their inevitable sabotage and betrayal. Leto hopes this plan will enable them to come out on top for the sake of his son and the future of his house. On Caladan, House Atreides ruled by sea and air, but on Arrakis, they'll need desert power. Leto's first order of business is to establish good relations with the Fremen, the natives of Arrakis. Strengthened and trained by the desert to survive, they are fierce warriors and would make invaluable allies against the Atreides' enemies. The natives could not have a lower opinion of outsiders at the time of the Atreides' arrival. But Leto has a way of seeing the potential in others, both as a group and as individuals. He doesn't have to exploit people to get them to serve his interests. Rather, he inspires others and brings out the best in them. The Fremen are the desert power the Atreides sorely need, and Leto's willingness to adapt to their vastly different culture on Arrakis will garner much-needed goodwill among the natives, who have suffered long under the previous tyrannical rule of House Harkonnen. He achieves this in large part by treating the natives with dignity and by viewing water as valuable as they do. The theme of destiny greatly surrounds Leto's character. He must go to Arrakis. Some things that happen in the story are inevitable. It is clear from the very beginning that Leto is bound by fate, and that it is likely he will not survive the events that are soon to take place. But another strong theme throughout this story is the power of the individual to affect the course destiny takes. He must go to Arrakis, but make no mistake, he is going to take every possible measure to ensure his family's safety and long-term success, which in itself will greatly affect the course of the future. These themes also heavily surround his son Paul, the main protagonist of the story. The interactions between father and son are one of the best parts of Frank Herbert's novel. George Lucas has said that Dune was one of his sources of inspiration when he was writing Star Wars. And while the desert planet is quite possibly the most obvious element of inspiration, what stands out to me even more is the relationships between the characters. This is a story about love and family and destiny, themes very strong throughout the original Star Wars trilogy, and it's one of the things I enjoy most about Dune. Physically, the Duke is described as tall and olive-skinned with a thin face of harsh angles, warmed only by deep gray eyes. The role of Leto was portrayed previously by Jürgen Prochnow in David Lynch's 1984 film, and by William Hurt in the year 2000 in the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries. And again, while there are elements of each of these previous performances I can appreciate, in this upcoming film, I am hoping to see a little more from the character than we've gotten before. This time, Oscar Isaac is set to bring the beloved Duke to life on screen in Denis Villeneuve's adaptation. Oscar is probably most famous for his role as Poe Dameron in the Star Wars sequel trilogies. While I have many problems with those movies, his performance wasn't one of them. There's really only so much an actor can do with a poorly written script. I am really interested to see what Oscar will bring to this character, which is based on such excellent source material. I have to say, I really like the choice for the actor to have a beard in this portrayal. It gives Oscar a more dignified and mature appearance that the character of Leto Atreides certainly has in abundance. I'm also excited to see the chemistry between Oscar and Rebecca Ferguson, who plays Lady Jessica. They are both very talented actors, and the relationship between Leto and Jessica is one of the most important things to get right in this film, and I hope they both do these iconic characters justice. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and are feeling the excitement for Dune, give it a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts on the casting of Oscar Isaac and what you think about the character of Duke Leto. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dune and other sci-fi and fantasy content. Thank you so much for your support, and as always, have a very nerdy day.